All right. If you're a fucking filthy animal savage in your nether regions, you want to check out manscaped.com. They got everything you need to clean yourself up and be halfway presentable and halfway comfortable and make your dingus look longer. So check them out, manscaped.com, and use the promo code BigTruth at checkout. You get 20% off your order and free shipping. They have a thing called the Lawnmower 3.0, which is basically a dude's genital razor and electric razor with the ceramic blades, so you can go to town down there and not get cut, nicked, or scratched. So, you know, as we said before, last thing you want to see on your fingers when you're cutting down below is ball blood on the fingertips. You will see none of that, and you'll have a nice clean and refreshing grundle and you know, wind tunnel down there. You know what I mean? So check them out, manscaped.com. You want to get the Lawnmower 3.0. If they got package deals going on, they always have discounted package deals. Get one of those. They got ball toner and you know, deodorant and stuff for all down there, and they got everything you need to hook yourself up and make your partner happy. So check them out, manscaped.com, promo code BigTruth at checkout. You will get 20% off your order and free shipping. You also want to check out Law Tigers. If you're a motorcycle rider and have been in the unfortunate predicament to be in an accident, you want to check out this law firm. They're for motorcycle riders, by motorcycle riders. Check them out, lawtigers.com. You can also check them out on Facebook. Type in Law Tigers and your state, and you will get in touch with the most local office. So I'm in Massachusetts. I would go into Facebook and type in Law Tigers Massachusetts, and I would get in touch with the local office. You do that as well. That's one of those sponsors that I hope you never have to use, but if you do find yourself in that situation, definitely reach out to the Law Tigers. Omerta is a clothing company and lifestyle brand run by a couple friends of mine, and they got some of the coolest shit on the streets, and they're 100% legit. They do most of the work themselves, the screening and whatnot, all in-house. They print their shit on American-made apparel whenever possible, and they got everything. They got T-shirts, hoodies, jackets, socks, pomades, fucking hand-screened prints and shit. But, you know, you check them out at omertamia.com, omertamia.com. It's too late for some of their Black Friday sales. They were doing heavy-duty sales, but I'm sure they'll have some more shit going on and some Christmas shit going on. So check them out at omertamia.com and on Instagram and Facebook at omertamia. And there, too, if you use the promo code BigTruth at checkout, you will get 20% off your order. So make do with that. Make use of that, man. They got rad shit. You got to probably order, by the time you're listening to this, you probably got to order 2 fucking day to get your shit by Christmas, because the USPS has been a little bit fucky lately. I mean, I've sent packages to New York that by priority mail that usually get there the next day, and it's been over 8 days, and the package is still fucking on the way. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's in transit. But that's just one example of many, and I've been waiting on shit from other places. So make sure you get your fucking order in ASAP if you want to get that before the holidays. You also want to check out pitchforkny.com. They got rad hardcore. They're a mainstay in the hardcore metal and punk scenes as far as a clothing company. They have all kinds of designs that are fucking just badass. So check them out, pitchforkny.com. They also have, they put out a record series of split 7 inches called the Back to School series, and they have a East Coast band on one side and a West Coast band on the other with exclusive tracks from bands like Murphy's Law, Rancid, fucking Sick of It All, The Eulogy, Bricktop, fucking all kinds of shit. My boy Junior's band in fucking Los Angeles, fucking, there's all kinds of shit. You want to check it out. Pitchforkny.com. Pick up those records. They got all kinds of they're limited edition vinyl colorways. A lot of them are sold out, but some are still there. Snatch them while you can. You also want to check out Chop Cult if you're into motorcycling and motorbiking and chopper building and all that shit. They are the biggest online resource for this. They got a online message board that's broken up by topics, so you can if you want to look up something specific to British motorcycles or vintage Harleys or modern Harley or fucking Japanese bikes, whatever. It's all broken up and easy to access. They also have a online swap meet, so you can buy and sell and trade parts. And there's a lot of good deals there, and sometimes you find some really rare, hard to find shit up on there. And they got an online kind of events page where you can see events happening, motorcycle related events all around the world. They got blogs. They send mailing lists with like condensed articles with kind of like summary shit, all kinds of shit. And it's absolutely free to join, and they don't ask your credit card or any weird information like that. So go check them out at chopcult.com and on all social media avenues simply at chopcult. Chop Ahead Custom Cycles is my shop, and if you are in Massachusetts or New England area, we're having our holiday party this Saturday, December 19th. So stop on by between 2 and 6. We'll have free food and free beverages, both adult and all ages. And we'll have some in-store special options if you're looking for some last-minute gifts and stuff. So if you're in New England, come on by, 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. Check us out online at chopahead.com, CHOPPAHEAD. We got some gear and swag and parts online, but, we're a full-service brick-and-mortar motorcycle shop. We can do whatever you need, whether it's an oil change or a full custom chopper build. We got access to pretty much any part you want. If you don't see it online, give us a call, shoot us an email, just truth@chopahead.com. Last but not least, and as far as Chop Ahead goes, man, next year is going to be 20 years in this fucking game, man. So, we appreciate all the support we've gotten through the years, and we look forward to doing this even longer, man. So, reach out if there's anything we can do for you. And last but not least, check out bigtruthpodcast.com if you haven't already, if you want to get access to some of the past episodes, obviously you're probably not listening off the website. You're probably listening off Spotify or on your podcast app on Apple or Android or whatever it is. But if you do listen to it off the website, or if not, you can go and get more information on the website. And I'm going to be putting up new shit soon. And really, if you really want to help support the show, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it with friends and family on your social media or face-to-face in person. And leave a review wherever you listen to this. And if you really want to help, you can check out our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/bigtruth. And you can become more of a supporter of the show. There's 4 different levels of supporters that you could be. And they all come with different free shit or cool shit that comes with each different level. So check it out, patreon.com/bigtruth. I'm excited to hang out virtually over the phone with my man, Rob Hultz. And that's what is coming up next. So keep it locked.
The Big Truth Podcast. Laying down the hatches! Get ready!
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast, and I'm stoked to be here, at least on the phone, with my man Rob Hultz. You might know him as Bobby Goodtimes. He's the bass player for Trouble. He was in Solace, a whole bunch of fucking punk rock and hardcore bands and shit through the years, like Lethal Aggression. I think we'll get him talk a little bit about when he was in fucking Maximum Penalty and shit like that. But this is a dude I've been riding with for, I don't even know, it's got to be at least 15 years, and through the chopper scene and the music scene. So it's a dude I'm stoked. Like, we were supposed to do this in person, but as like everything else, COVID's been fucking shit up. But without further ado, Coming live from Bravetown, Chicago, Rob Hultz, Bobby Goodtimes.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
What's up, my man? Good to talk to you,
Yeah.
man. Always good to
I
talk
know.
to you,
Oh,
brother.
absolutely. Oh, you might know him from the Chophead DVDs if you watch Volume 1. He's the dude that was smashing a 40 bottle on my head when I had a helmet on, not over my skull, but...
Just so you know, that stuff was never choreographed, man. That shit just happened. It's funny. As soon as, because props to Zach Doom, because that was brought up in his interview, and we become good friends, man. And you never, when you do that stuff and it winds up on film, and you never think the reach that shit's gonna have. And
I know.
for him to bring that up, and he didn't even know it was me. It was wild, man.
Yeah.
And it brought back, like, I remember we used to set up, like, all these, like, legitimate vendors and builders and whatever would set up at those shows. And then we would show up and they'd be like, oh, shit, we got to be in the same room with these guys, man.
remember the first year of the Smokeout that we all went? Like, the horse had us right next to their booth. And then, like, every other, like, we just got further and further put away in the corner.
Put us out in the back nine. Yeah.
Oh, fucking. But the thing was, we were like a necessary evil there. Like, everyone, they loved and hated us. They wanted us there because it was a good time. But it was also like, oh, fuck, we got to deal with all these fucking dudes. Well, what wound up happening
is, like, they would go to their parties at the end and then wind up being around us.
Yeah.
Because it's somewhere around 2:30, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, man. It was happening.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be the dudes. And it brought me that story, man. Like, it brought up that time, man. Like, we weren't at the Holiday Inn, but we were in another hotel down the street. And we were the dudes, like, that were, like, having Roman candle fights. Like, we would Roman candles and chase each other around the parking lot. And I remember there was this old biker guy, man. He had, like, manlets, and he had this tan head, and it was green, his gray beard, old timer. And he would be with his bike, but he would never leave the side of his bike. His chopper was beautiful. And I remember Roman candles go off, and I remember him just getting up and being like, anyone touches my bike, I'm going to kill him right here. So we, like, stopped the Roman candle fight. We decided to duct tape him to our helmet.
Yeah,
we're riding up and down the parking lot with the Roman candles going off our helmet,
dude. And don't forget, it wasn't just Roman candles. We had full fucking mortars.
Listen, I'll give you here's the funniest mortar story. So, like, I came up with Drew, rest in peace, and Kiefer, man, my brother, and I think Eddie Ramos, rest in peace.
Yeah,
Boppo was with us.
Fucking Boppo, rest in peace, Boppo.
And we get to the fucking hotel, and I finally think I'm tired of shit. I put all my shit in the room, and someone knocks on the door. I open the door, there's a fucking M80 and a fucking can of pomade.
That was me.
Everyone was rockabilly, and the everyone was flicking their head like the pomade exploded right on me, man. Shit was
That was
everywhere.
Me. That was me, dude. That was my fucking napalm strike, dude.
Oh, dude. That's the shit. Yeah,
it was the best because you guys came from Jersey and we come from Boston, and we'd converge, and we'd always be like, "Hey, you got to put us right next to." We'd like convert.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're next to each other. Yeah,
at the hotel, and we would concert it, and then it was always just literally fucking mayhem from whoever got there first. Like, was already setting shit up for whoever was getting there second. You know what I mean?
I don't remember what happened. But the payback was we got into maybe it had to be your room then, because we had, like, not Hustler, like dirty ass hardcore porn magazines, and wallpapered the room.
Yeah,
like every inch of the wall with these photos. So the cleaning lady would have to come in to the room with all this hardcore porn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking crazy. I found some pictures from back then too of some of that shit. Like, and remember, like, we would like we'd chuck fireworks into each other's rooms from, like, the windows, like hanging out the window, like outside of the hotel room, and, like, beaming them into the next rooms and shit. Fucking,
even worse, man. So I finally catch a break. This hotel had a pool. I'm sitting in the pool, and someone's talking to me. I got my arms up on the rail, and I'm talking to somebody, maybe Eddie, and he knew it, but Kiefer was next to me on the other side of my shoulder when I wasn't looking, shitting in the pool, dude. like that's the stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Everyone had their talents, and everyone had their talents, and Keith had the ability to be able to shit anywhere, into anything, like, on command, without, like, like, just any time. That dude had one in the chamber ready to fucking rock.
But the point is, man, like you said, we would show up and it would be like, oh my God, it's these fucking guys. In the end, it'd be like, everyone wanted to be around.
Yeah. Remember at the
weird.
yeah, because so at the end of those smokeouts, before it moved or before it really like kind of ended a little bit, remember like we'd be in the hotel and we would look up and like all 3 balconies would be lined with people just watching the fucking shit show of whatever the fuck we were doing.
Dude, the coolest thing in the Holiday Inn parking lot though I ever saw was one of those nights. And remember Drew had that huge crazy Cummins diesel monster truck?
Yeah, yeah.
So Jay...
Yeah, did the burnout around the whole parking lot and like took corners and everything?
Listen, he does this burnout, and the parking lot's full of cars.
Yeah.
Full of cars. He starts a burnout down one of the lanes, and then he starts moving the burnout forward. And we're like, holy shit, that's crazy. Turns the corner, goes into a big U, and I don't even know how he did it because you couldn't see. And it bombed everybody out the park.
Remember the cop came and was like all impressed. The cops were like, oh.
Like we were walking with the cops, showing him the lot. Like, look what he just did. Like you can see the tire tracks in like a quarter mile.
Yeah,
like around the cars, man.
That was also the same night we had the wrist rockets and we were taking out room windows and shit.
Oh, from the back, from the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh man! And then the one kid jumped off the balcony. I can't remember his name, but he was from Philly. Brent broke his ankle. We were pushing him around in the lobby, like the fucking the coat rack cart. Like we were just pushing him around the party.
Remember? Oh, dude! All I remember is there used to be a girl that worked. I don't know if she worked for the Horse or for the magazine or if she just was like rolled with them or whatever. But her nickname was like Goth Girl. And she was playing. They were like in a biker gang, like they were a girl biker gang. Yeah, but I can't remember. But she was playing piano in the hotel, and she had like 30 dudes around her, like trying to acting like they were so interested in her playing classical music or whatever. She was playing like classical music, and all these like biker dudes, they're just trying to hang out with her, and they're all like, yeah, and you know,
I remember that.
And then Brent was in Brent. We came through, and Brent was still on the fucking in the wheelchair. And he just like, I'm rolling on dudes, bitches, and like ruined the whole moment.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. That was at the Holiday Inn. They had a piano in the Holiday Inn.
Dude, I missed those.
Oh my God, I forgot about that, man.
It was such those shows, especially before it moved. Like when it was still, I can't remember the name, but when it was still at the original, not the original location, but like because the first, I think
it was the second location.
Yeah, it was the second. It was the second location, and it was such lawless times because the cops just they must have had stand down orders because they were like, yeah, just fuck it, whatever.
What were they gonna do? What were they gonna do? Yeah,
I remember the cops were like, yeah, stop throwing fireworks and stuff. We're okay, and they turn around and Keith lights shit up and just throws it right at them, like, you know, just
I
fucking.
I think when we were doing the ones with the helmets, I think didn't the field across the street
caught on fire? Yeah.
Oh,
there was a bunch of dumb shit. A lot of shit there was a lot of destruction we probably shouldn't bring up, but there was but it was like just the lawlessness of it. I remember I was so hammered. I still had that Triumph chopper and I couldn't even stand up. And I was doing a burnout on a car. And a cop came over and I dropped the bike and shit because I was so fucking hammered. This is not shit that like I don't condone this now. Like I'm not telling people to do this. I'm just saying this was the time. And I was so fucking hammered I could barely stand up. I'd already dropped the bike. My license plate snapped off, this and that. And I'm doing a burnout on a car and a cop comes over and I just remember Big Nick going, yeah, is he all right to ride back to the hotel? And the cop's like, just go right back to the hotel. I had no business being on a fucking bike. And it was just like I didn't stop the burnout either. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I think I was pounding a 40 with the other hand as I was doing it, you know, just dumb shit like that, you know, but.
Yeah, we're not condoning that kind of thing.
No. But you know, that was half the fun. That was half the fun of the Chopperhead DVDs because we used to look forward to like all getting up and just going fucking buck wild for the weekend.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like,
show was we were at, and we filmed half of it, not all of it, but half of it.
But it just happened, and like. You know, it wasn't because it was half the time. I don't think anyone knew there was a camera rolling.
No, we just had it.
Shit just happened.
Yeah. It was just nonstop cam. It was like the show was awesome and the show was fun, especially back then because there was a lot more choppers and shit there. But the after parties, like the hotel was like where it was really active.
the best part about it is for me is not the best part, but I mean, since I was, the up all night guy, we might get into that later, but I was the guy that's always, up for 3 days straight. Like I've seen it all to the dawn. Like I've seen the girls leave the dudes. I've seen like the fist fights. You know what I mean? I saw all the shit happen up until the sunrise, and then the people climbing out of bed. Like always be the dudes that went to bed early and came out and saw like
just
what
carnage.
the hell happened.
Yeah. It looked like fucking Fallujah in the parking lot.
Man,
dude.
that's good times. But anyway, the point is like when Zach brought that up, I was like, man, like awesome.
There's so much shit too that I forget that until someone brings up something, and then it triggers all kinds of shit. Like I remember, and I can't find it. I lost a tape. I had a tape and we were filming. We were doing dumb shit. Again, it was like Brent and all, same fucking cast of characters, all of us. And we had stole the fucking gurney out of the fucking ambulance, and we tied it to the back of the chopper. We were taking it off jumps and shit. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
And then we stole the golf cart. We stole the golf cart and the gurney out of the thing, and we were taking both of them off jumps and doing all kinds of dumb shit. This is, I think the statute of limitations is up, but this is when we were all a lot younger and more fucking
no one's
more
missing
wild
that
style.
No one's missing that gurney. I don't even think anyone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're probably like, what video? What?
Yeah,
what
yeah. No, I lost that tape. Yeah. And I wish I had it, man, just because it was so fucking hilarious, dude. Because someone would obviously, when we're taking it off the jump, someone was riding on the gurney. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's probably Brent.
Yeah, I think Brent was riding once, and then something happened. Like Brent hit Jay with the gurney, and they got in a fight, and this and that. There was all kinds of dumb shit like that happened back. It was,
that's the best. That's the best part of it, man. That's just real shit.
Yeah, man.
Real shit.
And then we'd always explore all those like North Carolina bars. We'd all walk in and be like, "All right, let's see how this is gonna go."
Wait, so we go to that one club, and everyone we would jump. We would put 40 dudes in a van, and we go to these bars, and then all of a sudden, I think it was Kiefer found his way to the back kitchen of the strip club, and he turned the power off. He shut the main power off. Like there's this girl dancing, and boo.
That was always the move. Remember, we went to like some college bar, and there was like a band playing, and we went in the basement, and we looted the basement. We stole like all these like trophies and dumb shit, and did the same thing, like shut the power down and stuff. Just dumb shit. I think that was actually. That wasn't the Smokeout. I think that was on the Gypsy Run or something, like the first Gypsy Run. I don't even remember. All that shit just melds together now, man. It just melds together. But yeah, man.
I wasn't at that one, but I was at the one with Kiefer. I know. Well, not to bust them out, but
yeah.
Someone shut the power down in the club.
yeah. More than likely it was Keith. You know what I mean? Because that was yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. You probably weren't, because the Gypsy Run is when we picked the raccoon up off the road, the dead raccoon, and we set it up on the McDonald's drive-through, like on display on the menu, and people kept puking, and then the manager and all them came out and had to take it off, and they were all puking. I mean, this thing was rancid, dude. We were all puking when it came out of the bag and stuff, or at least gagging and shit. Like Keith picked it up, of course. He threw it into like a fucking contractor bag and fucking. Yeah.
Oh, he had the best stuff, man.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
I know, man. But I'm glad we all got through that relatively unscathed, and it was such good times, and it could never be recreated. But it was an awesome time, man. It was just an awesome time in chopper history too, man. Because like, a lot of people would shit on the horse, but like they were really trying, man, and they put on that event. There wasn't a lot of chopper events back then, and
no, there was none. There was local stuff, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and they really at first focused on it being there on choppers, and that you rode your chopper there, and and all that, and it was good times, man. We met a lot of good people there, and that's how we all got tight. The Jersey and Boston boys. That's how.
Yeah, it wasn't about a magazine. It was about, hey, there's like-minded people going to this spot. Let's
Absolutely.
Get there.
Yeah, exactly. And then once we all clicked up, it was like, oh man, we gotta go fucking cause trouble with the Jersey boys. You know what I mean? And vice versa.
Yeah, good times, man.
And it's it's like you said too earlier. It's like this is pre-social media and shit. So that's how
no one.
You had to be
the
there.
only way you could. Yeah, we were literally pen pally, dude.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I didn't even have an email account.
No,
Like, I wasn't even emailing.
we had to like send packages of shit to each other.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you send stuff, or you read something in the back of a magazine, or
yeah.
you wrote stuff, and I think it was.
Or just
not
come
soon
up.
after that,
We'd come up for the weekend, or you'd guys come
listen,
up here or whatever. Yeah.
to do anything, to get inspiration, to find parts,
Yeah.
to like find like-minded people, man. Like you had to actually get out there, man. You had to get out and get somewhere. Like the funny thing is, half the stuff we did, you know, if we had social media, it probably wouldn't have went off. Like people would have been like, you know, it was just because it was just art in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There wasn't even
bizarre.
like, and a lot of it was like pre like camera phones and shit, or they were like super archaic, like flip phones and shit. Like
I didn't have phones. The only bummer thing, and I think about this all the time, I do this with my band stuff too, because the only photos I have is from like the fucking 7-Eleven throwaway phone.
Yeah.
Like there was no camera phone, so I don't have like, I guess it's not that big of a deal, but it'd be nice to see pictures of people and times to go back to. And it's the same with my touring. Like the only photos I have is like, you know, we'd play a show somewhere and I'd run that to the 7-Eleven and buy a, you know, $5 camera, man.
Yeah, the disposable cameras, yeah.
Yeah. And like that's the only those, and but that's when I go back to your videos and shit, because then I can see it. Like, yeah, I remember that, man.
And then just remember all the other shit that like wasn't on video just because we weren't filming 24. And it wasn't like we had camera crews with us. It was all of us being idiots, drunk.
No, it'd be like
handing the camera off, like, hey, hold this for a second, and just fucking doing dumb shit.
And that's the best part. There's like a sixth sense, like something fucked up's about to go down.
Yeah. Get the camera. Wouldn't even say nothing. Just stand there, turn it on, and just fucking hold it. And just be like, all right, you know. Someone had a twinkle in their eye and a fucking wrist rocket in their hand or some shit, and you knew like.
Well, you know, so listening to the blogs and listening to people, like it's the same common story. Like, so me and Kiefer would, like, you know, and Eddie Ramos, who was, you know, he after Social Decay, he went down to motorcycle school in Florida and came back. He was like a motorcycle guy. He worked in a shop, had a shovel, you know.
Yeah.
Like we would go around with him and we'd go to all these events and it would be like, you know, bikers. You know, biker shit going on there. Savoy Brown, Molly Hatchet, bands playing, you know, cover. You know, there wasn't like people like us.
Yeah.
You know, so we would have to get out and find like-minded, you know, and it was that generation where hardcore kids, you know, were starting to get into bikes.
Yeah.
You know, and that was, and then later on be skateboarders and so on and so on. You know,
yeah. And it was weird too, because that was a thing, man. Especially, you know, I know it happened everywhere, but like in the Northeast, you know, like that was a big thing. Like most of the younger dudes that got into bikes when we were getting into bikes, like, you know, this is, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, like, you know, like when we were starting to just come up, you know, it was like. That's when you started seeing like that wave of like hardcore dudes that were just moving into bikes because it was, you know, they were so connected. I don't know, you know, what it was, you know, obviously I've said it before, it was like loud, fast, dangerous, all that shit, do it yourself. But it was it also had that spirit of like the old hardcore. We traded parts now instead of trading records.
Instead of tapes. Yeah. Instead of trading tapes and we'd go to these, instead of going to hardcore shows, we'd go to bike shows that our old hardcore and that hardcore bands would play at.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And for me, it was, and it probably for a lot of dudes, like, so the reason why I got into motorcycles is because I was like, literally like, it was like, I got off tour in like 94. And like, it was the first time since I was 15 years old. I wasn't in a touring band. And I was like sitting, I remember I was in a backyard at a show. Like someone had a backyard show and like Kiefer pulled up on a BSA, and I hadn't seen him in a while because he toured the country in a van.
Yeah, he did the Volkswagen van thing. Yeah,
and he was a kind of hippie, and he had dreads. I didn't see him all, but then he pulls up on this bike. I'm like, you know, that's what I'm missing. Yeah. Like I had some money left from the band. I was kind of just like kind of depressed. Like I'm not touring. I don't have a band. You know, what am I gonna do? Like I just spent like 6-7 years of my life since I was like literally 15 years old till 22, 23, 24, like doing this crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and I had to, it was just the call of the wild, man. I had to do something. But then I saw him, I was like, that's it. Like, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
And he was on a BSA, and I remember there was another dude named Rob Stout. He had a BSA, and this was like 95, 96, and we were like, the running joke was like, hey, doesn't the Fonz, that's the Fonz is like, the BSA Lightning, but and I was instantly like drawn to the British, like right then, like boom.
Yeah.
And there was a dude in town, just luck should have it. Like, I had a pocket full of money from the Black Sabbath tour, and there was a guy named Steve McDougall who had this like pre-unit flathead factory rigid Triumph, and the bike.
I remember that bike. I love that bike.
57.5. Still have it today.
I know.
Still runs. Still have it. I'll never part with it. And I bought it for like $1,500, and it ran. And I was like, this, it was over. It was over. Like, I had older cousins that rode, and it was always like when the bikers would go down the street, my nose would be up against the car window, like, wow.
Yeah.
I always had that, but I was literally playing in bands like since I was a teenager, like playing in clubs, and you never had the chance to like settle down, get a bike, whatever. And that, once I had that, it was over. And I remember because the dude I bought it from, Steve, bought a shovelhead, a killer shovelhead, and the guy that owned it before him had a panhead. And so the story with the bike goes, in 1972, the dude Barry bought it as the back of Easy Riders magazine from the Pakistan military in like a crate.
Oh.
So I guess Pakistan had like surplus Triumph motorcycles because they were part of the British Empire at one time.
Yeah.
And they were selling them, and he got it in a crate. He made it cool. I guess it was a military bike, and it had like all this military stuff. I never got that stuff, but he kind of made it choppery and cool, but didn't hack anything off. Just kind of, put like a Sirianni front end on it with a front brake. It was killer. And so, like, I'm the third owner of the bike that a guy bought from the back of Easy Riders from Pakistan, which is a fucking awesome story.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I'm chasing the same guy on his panhead through the Pine Barrens on a flathead 4-speed 500. And I blew the damn motor up chasing him down the fucking, I'm like 20 miles out of town.
Yeah.
And I got this Triumph screaming. And then poof.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not giving up on this bike, man. And I I had to rebuilt the motor and put it back in and redid the bike. And still got that bike today, man. Still ride it.
That's awesome.
I haven't rode it in a couple of years, but
yeah,
I've rode it since I've been in Chicago. It's kind of like against the wall, but it's in good shape, and it's there. It's all there. And yeah, love that thing. And that's what got me started, man, with it. Totally.
Yeah, and it was cool, man, because like you guys started doing down there in Jersey, we were doing the same thing up here, and then we just converged, man, and it was like it was a whirlwind of idiocy and awesomeness.
That was perfect. It was meant to be.
Yeah, fuck
it was
yeah,
totally
man.
meant to be, man. Yeah.
And fucking yeah, and that was a cool kind of rundown of what, how you even got into bikes and started on that path. Like, I've always respected you, man, on like you've always had a cool build. You've always had a cool bike or two and like a cool build going on at once. Like, you always had you always had your hand in like multiple kind of fires, but it was always like whenever you had something that you finished up, it was always fucking rad. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Coming from you, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thanks. You there?
Yeah, man. I'm here.
Well, I was able to, since I'm not, I never consider myself a bike builder or a bike shop. So I get this idea, man, and it just comes to me, man. And it might take a year, it might take 2 years, but I'll see it through to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And that you can tell you have a vision for something and you see it through. Like you'll be quiet for a while and you won't see it. And all of a sudden you'd show up at I'll see you at a show randomly and you're on this fucking badass knucklehead or something. And I'm like, what the fuck, man, dude? Like where'd that come from? Like, cause you don't leak shit out either. You just fucking quiet and you fucking hiding there in Bravetown or wherever, and you just fucking chipping away and just fucking chipping away. Then all of a sudden, like, I just see you at every show and it's just like, boom, fucking, you know what I mean? Just fucking rad.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Well, it's the because I work on like a job and I don't have the restraints of a bike business or no one's asking me to build bikes for any shows or anything like that, so I don't have these time constraints. So, I just meticulously pick at it, and I'm a working dude. I don't have endless amounts of money, so it takes time to save up for this shit. And the problem is my tastes are pricey, man. These days.
Yeah.
These knuckleheads. Unless you're winning them off a raffle, they're not that cheap.
They ain't getting cheaper, man. That's for sure.
That's for sure, man. Yeah, but I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
but that's how I think we all got into the British shit, because when we were younger, it was affordable back then. I mean, we didn't know that they were going to go, they were going to be more than shovelheads at some point. You know what I mean?
Eventually. Well, that was another thing too. Like that's what we could afford. You know what I mean? But
it was also it was its own kind of cool. Like you saw the BSA, you're like, damn, that's what I'm missing. Like just cool shit. Like, it doesn't matter like what the make is. Like, when someone does a bike right, it just fucking transcends anything.
God bless you guys though, man. Like, so there was always Triumph choppers, man, but they were rare. But when you saw one, you're like, yeah. But when you guys started putting them out, I was like, yeah, like that's what this Triumph could be. You know what I mean? Like it was like there's something more than what you thought a Triumph could. You know what I mean? And everyone was like, "Who needs a Harley?" These Triumphs could be just as killer, just as badass.
Yeah. It's just with a 500, you're a little constrained, dude. I just remember once, man, coming into fucking Milwaukee for the Harley 100th. Did we hang out at that or not? I can't remember, man.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure.
And some of the Milwaukee dudes had a bike for me, but it was like a Triumph. It was a 500, and I remember it was called the Little Red Rocket of Love. And I was like, and it was like, it just reminded me of that story when you were chasing the dude on the Panhead. Like I get on this Triumph and it's a 500. I'm not a small dude. And instantly I get off the plane. I'm like, someone throws a drink in my hand. They give me the keys to a 500, and then it's like, all right, let's roll. And then we just got hammered and we're bombing around fucking the highways around fucking Milwaukee. I don't know who the fuck I am, what the fuck I'm doing. I'm on this 500. I'm trying to keep up with all these dudes on fucking big twins.
Yeah,
and I'm just
impossible.
Like, and I'm just like, wah, just wide open, fucking hammered, being, I don't know who the fuck I am. I can't afford to not keep up with these dudes. You know what I mean? Like fucking,
because you don't know where the hell you are.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't know who the fuck I am. And that was, it was just good
same thing. I didn't know anybody. I was like, this is my bike. It's cool. It's fucking rigid. I'll take a ride with you guys.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're out there.
Yeah. But that's the fun of it, man. Doing all the sketchy, fucking dangerous shit, and fucking getting through it. But yeah, what you got anything going on now? You chipping away at, or are you?
Yeah, man. I'm putting together a 47. That's like a stocker.
Okay.
I got it for a good deal, and I've been piecing away. So that's like my bike. Like that's like the bike. I always envisioned. It's stock. 47. Got the Flanders, bars on it, and it's just like tank shift.
Yep.
Street bike, and that's like something I'm slowly picking away at. But the one I'm really putting together is I had this like long panhead that when I first moved to Chicago, I got on the cheap, and it was called the Blow Dozer. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like it was a Survivor panhead with a 36 rigid raked frame, but the tank and fender were fiberglass. And I go to this guy's house. He's like, I'm selling this panhead, and I just moved to Chicago. And I go to the guy's house, and him and this dude they pull it up from the basement, right? And it comes outside. It has like an A&E Springer, long as hell.
Yeah.
No wiring, just enough to get the bike going. No headlight or taillight. The seat wasn't even bolted. I was just sitting on it, and I got my truck with me. I was like, well, I just really want the motor and trans. It was the 60. It had the 60 motor and trans, and everything else was. I didn't realize at the time, but it had the oil tank. You know, the casted tank.
Yeah.
And it had and I'm looking at the frame. I was like, man, that looks like a knucklehead frame. And it was. and so I'm like, all right, I'll take it. And I paid the guy, and I couldn't, it wouldn't, like, so bit long, it wouldn't fit in the little truck I had. So I was like, man, can I try and get this bike running? They're like, it hasn't ran. And I can't even tell you, man, like the guy started building it in 72, and I've been piecing at it, but it never ran. His wife said it was too dangerous and refused to let him ride it. And I remember I put gas in, I put some wires together, I checked the oil, and it fired right up, man, literally, like, and everyone's looking at me like, holy shit. And I was like, well, it had 6 pens on it too. Like 6 pens pulled back. And I'm about like 7-8 miles from my garage, but just down one street, Milwaukee Avenue. And I pull out with this thing. It has no headlight or taillight. The sketchiest AE, like, or one of those front ends, man, from the 70s on it, man.
Yeah.
And like a 19-inch wheel.
Yeah.
I'm going down.
Yeah. No fucks given. No attention to rake and trail when they built it. They just fucking threw a front end on it. Yeah.
And I rode it 7 miles in rush hour traffic with no brakes, no headlights, to my garage, just like, and I'm like, to avoid hitting cars, I'd go into the shoulder and kind of stop, and then I'd get back in.
Yeah.
And I rode it home. But when I got it home, I took that off, and I took some of the fiberglass. I took the fiberglass fender and put it up because I didn't want to get a ruin. I rebuilt the bike, and I put a long thing on it. And so I rode it. It was my main bike forever. My real goal was just to take the motor and trans out and put it in something new, but I kept it.
Yeah.
And then I started having problems with the motor. So a couple of years ago, I tore it apart, and then I'm looking at the frame. It's just a perfectly done, molded Survivor frame, man. I'm like, I'm going to put a knucklehead back in this thing.
Awesome.
So I'm building that bike now. And my buddy Ryan Hartman from
wait, so you got 3 knuckleheads?
Yeah.
You son of a fucking bitch. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I guess it helps being so close to the factory. You know, I don't know.
Well, and to be honest, yeah, like I've been blessed. When I moved out here, it was like the Midwest has so much stuff.
Yeah.
So much stuff. And especially with the people, I bought this motor from Warren Jr. actually.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And it was a little bit of electrical work at a shop and some cash. And, I bought the motor, but the motor sat, and I had a trans already. And so I'm going to do something else with the pan. But I was like, gonna put the Survivor frame and just put it up on the wall and look at it, but I was like, nah, man, it's coming back as a knuckle. It's supposed to be a knuckle. Yeah. But my buddy's a really great metal guy, like, unlike me, and he's building me a rigid front end for it, but it's like next level.
Nice.
And so it's going to be a rigid front end.
So let me ask you the question: are you gonna chip away the Bondo on that and look at the welds and stuff, or are you just gonna run it? Are you just gonna run it as it is?
It's getting ran as it is. And since we had it apart, we're looking it over and we're like, well, that looks a little screwy. Like there was a like, so the front motor mount's a little bent, like it had a little accident. But I was like, we put the motor in it and it fit. And then under the bottom rail, there's like a piece of metal under, like where the floorboard mount is on the primary side. Yeah. There's like another piece of metal welded to it to sure it up.
Yeah.
I was like, we keeping it. But when I had it as a padded, man, I rode that bike around Lake Michigan.
Yeah, well, fuck it.
Literally, like we were. I took it, man. I put a backpack on it in a tent, and I spent 3 days around the lake on that bike, man. No problems. Yeah.
Well, then if it was tracking straight and everything, fuck it,
It's fine. It's fine.
Cool.
Well, we'll see.
Well, it's not like you're putting like a fucking hopped up fucking M8 in it or something. You know what I mean? You're putting a knucklehead in. It's not gonna fucking.
Plus, man, my trips across the country are winding down.
Yeah.
Man. So it's for fun, man.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Can't wait to see that now.
But it was funny. I'd always especially on that trip, man. That's like 1,200 miles.
Yeah.
Around the lake.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's like a fucking ocean, dude, you know?
But I had this fiberglass tank, man. It held no gas. And I didn't bring a gas can with me, and I kept running out of fucking gas the whole trip. And one time the other guys had left me because I was in the back, and they didn't see me run out of gas. And I stole a gas can out of a guy's backyard. But it was like up in the Upper Peninsula, man. It was like nowhere, man. But I could have been shot. But no one was answering the doors or nothing. So I looked around the back. I saw a gas can there, sniffed it, filled it up, and took off. Caught up with the guys.
Hey, what are you going to do, man? Desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah? Oh, fuck yeah, man. That's fucking rad. Dude, I mean, it's fucking crazy, you know, with this fucking COVID shit, like no motorcycle shows or anything over the last year. Haven't been able to travel, man. I miss getting out and fucking seeing motherfuckers, dude.
Oh, no, I know. It's
crazy.
Such a slow year, yeah.
Yeah, but you know,
totally.
Hey, hopefully now that we got these vaccines that miraculously came out in fucking 6 months, and hopefully people don't turn into fucking fucking zombies or something from it, and you know, the shit fucking everything starts getting lifted up, and we can fucking live life.
I heard some of them giving people like Bell's palsy, man. I don't know if I can live with that, man.
No, and I don't even want to go down this road or whatever, but I am just gonna say this. I'm not talking out of my ass. Like, you can fucking, I'll send you shit. Like, not you, I know you know, but like, I worked for WHO, I worked for CDC, I worked, you know, for a cancer hospital for fucking years, and I know that what it takes to to properly vet a vaccine, it takes fucking years. You know, to go through safety.
Years, right?
Yeah, and this shit is like in like 7 months or 8 months or whatever. Like, I was reading that both of these vaccines got pushed through FDA without having any of the data, the safety data collected. So, you know, everyone here, you know, people listening, you're adults, you can make your own decisions. I would strongly advise you don't take that shit, but you know what I mean? You know, like, but, you know, do it. But hey, you know what? Freedom comes at a cost. The cost is, you know, you take responsibility for your actions. I would not take it. I would not advise to take it. But if you feel like you're going to feel better for taking it, fucking be Pfizer's guinea pig. But remember, vaccine manufacturers are exempt from lawsuits. So if you take that shit and you get fucked up, you got no legal recourse. So do that information whatever you will. Like, I just take a little aside there. I feel like I got to do my duty and do a little public health segment, you know what I mean? But, you know, let's get back into motorcycles and fucking metal and punk rock. But yeah, dude, you know, like, my last episode was me and Ryan and my guy Ken that's been working here, just shooting the shit,
right.
and just getting fucking, you know, hammered and talking shit. Like, we definitely got to do one like me, you, and Keith, dude. We got to,
man, dude, that would.
It would be like next time we're all in the same place, man. I'm gonna bust out the equipment, dude. We're gonna fucking I don't even care about. No offense to my listeners, I don't even care about the people listening. It's just I want it for our own personal records. You know what I mean?
Like, because I'm sure. I mean, in the whatever time we have, I'm sure, especially Keith, we'll go down roads we're not even thinking right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
And I need some catch up time with him anyway, man. I miss him, man.
Yeah, you haven't. Well, I mean, outside of COVID, have you made it back to Jersey?
Yeah, I get back, but you know, the last time I was there was only for like a day.
Yeah,
And I went back. You know, I went back. You know, I didn't see him, but I went to see my son was in Jersey still.
Sure.
And I went to the Race of Gentlemen.
Okay.
But I had my bike in the the Trog show, the night of the Troglodytes thing.
Yeah, the
And,
troglodytes. Yeah.
It was like a dual trip. I was like, I'm going out there. I might as well just go too. Plus, I wanted to rip up and down Wildwood, which was awesome. I hadn't been down there in a while,
Yeah.
but I didn't see him. I didn't see him while I was home. But
And shout out to Harley out in Connecticut for doing that night of the Troglodyte show with the Trog dudes. Like that's a fucking rad show. And
yeah, it was a good time. And I ran into some people I hadn't seen in a while, man. And like Tom Granger, like I hadn't seen him in like 20 years, man.
Yeah.
It was good to see him and talk to him, and like it was like, holy shit, man. You know. And I also I picked up an award there. I got the one of the Chopper Awards, man. Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That was really cool. Yeah, it was a great event, man.
Yeah, cool. Man. Oh fuck yeah, dude. And yeah, I was stoked. I was so bummed when we had to cancel Full Speed Ahead, man, because we were gonna have you out and fucking, I know, Keith would have came out and fucking all that. It was gonna be a good time, man.
So we should just plan it then. Just like get us even at the show, just set up somewhere, man.
Yeah. We're doing a party, like a little holiday party, because usually we do a winter show too. Usually we do two things in the winter. We do a Chop Ahead holiday party, like we'll do a small one at the shop, but we'll do one at a venue with bands, and then we do the winter motorcycle expo with me and Packer, and that's like the winter version of Full Speed Ahead. And you can't even, like this winter's a wash, you know what I mean? Like, so, but we're going to do the little shop party this weekend. And, I think I'm going to set up the shit, and like, as it gets drunker, we're just going to do live podcasts, you know what I mean? Like with whoever's around and
just like, hey, come here.
Yeah. Hey, motherfucker, get over here. We're going to do that shit. But yeah, we definitely got to do them. Me, you and Keith Roundtable and other guys from back then. And I think it would be fucking hysterical, man.
Yeah, the one thing about not having the bike shows is like I don't get to see you. You know what I mean? I didn't get to see you at Speed Ahead. I didn't get to see you.
At any of them,
or whatever else.
Yeah, Mama Tried or Fuel or any of them. Like everyone's, So
I know people are like, oh, the bike shows, whatever. But you know what? That's where where I see my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't, and And I'm not saying this disparagingly. I've never been one to really give a shit about industry stuff, right? But I love this shit, and I love bike shows because I love going there and hanging out with my fucking boys that I get to see mostly at bike shows because we're all fucking busy and we live lives.
But it's not like it's a new, like you said, it's not a new fad where like, hey, there's a chop. Like we've been doing this, man, for 25 years.
Yeah, man. Dude, literally next year is Chopperhead's 20-year anniversary. And there's going to be fucking hell to pay if this fucking COVID shit's going on. You're going to see a long line of fucking COVID line breakers, dude. I'm doing shit. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, didn't Gangrene and Solace play your 5-year anniversary?
Yeah, so the 5-year was you guys and Gangrene.
Gangrene, yeah.
And 10-year was Blood for Blood and Wisdom in Chains. And the 15-year we just did here because we had just bought the building we're in now, and we did it right at the shop. Yeah,
that 5-year one, I thought about that the other day too because I rented a car and it was CBGB's like last week.
Yeah.
And I ran before I came up to we got to Rhode Island at the time. Was that show in Rhode Island?
That show was at the old living room in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah, Providence. And, I went and saw Reagan Youth at Stevie's and then drove. I had this brilliant idea, like, all right, I'm going to get to Stevie's. I'm going to see Reagan Youth. Then I'm going to sleep in my car and then I'm going to get up to Rhode Island. And it was just a disaster. I didn't sleep that night.
Yeah, of course.
I went to the show. I lost all my friends.
Yeah.
I wake up in my rental car, like on Houston Street or wherever, and I'm like, well, where the fuck am I?
Yeah,
everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone. Yeah, fucking.
And I raced up to Providence like that day to get the show.
Well, luckily it's only like 3 hours or 3.5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a fucking mess, dude. Gangrene was so fucking funny. I think I could say this because I think it's not going to be any big fucking revelation or anything, but it was like the best. Like it was literally Gangrene played. All I had to do was get fucking Doherty's ticket from fucking because he was living in Cleveland at the time. I just get him a
I know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I had to get him a round trip ticket. and like cocaine. That's all they wanted. They didn't even ask for money, dude. It was like, yeah, just get me a plane ticket and have some cocaine there. We'll be good. And it was like, all right.
So I got the best Chris Doherty story then. So, Lethal Aggression toured with Gangrene.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One of the nights was at CBGB's. And
what Gangrene era was this? Like Another Wasted Night or like later?
No, it was like later.
Okay.
And actually, the bass player was, I don't know his name, but he was from the band Jerry's Kids.
Okay. Yep.
It's an old Boston band too, right?
Yep.
And so this was like late 90s.
Okay.
It was like an after thing, And so we're playing CBs with Lethal Aggression, and right before the tour, if you can believe this, as luck would have it, I'm driving down an old like wooden road through the woods, and a teenage drunk driver, like 16-year-old kid, hit me head on. And I, like, literally 3 days before the tour, I smashed my head on the windshield, totaled my truck. And I remember when I finally went to see my truck, like after in a junkyard, my palm prints and blood were like on the side. I was like, trying to hold myself up in the side of my pickup truck.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had this, so I decided I was going to go on the tour, but I had these pain pills. So I had I had this huge scar, like literally across my forehead, like up through my top of my head. And I had a bottle of pain pills, and I had like a bandage around it. So I took the bandage off, I played, popped my pills, we played CBs, and then Gangrene played. And then there's no really backstage at CBs, but there's like a little room, like a little cubbyhole room.
Yeah.
And there was a bench, and I passed out on the bench. And I wake up to Chris Doherty with his hand in my pocket, like trying to get my pills, like out of my pocket. Right? And I'm like, and I wake up like, what are you doing in my pockets, man? He's trying to get my head. He's like, oh, yeah, it's just trying to, he's trying to get the pills out of my pocket.
I'm just trying to say hello, man. Just trying to say hello.
Yeah, that was a good time, man.
Yeah. Dude.
And I remember on that tour, actually, this is the year because that tour made it to the Auto Bar in Baltimore, and Municipal Waste opened the show. So it was Municipal Waste, Lethal Aggression, Gangrene at the Auto Bar.
Wow.
Now they're huge now, but I mean, at the time they were opening. They were open.
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's crazy how that shit works, huh? Like
yeah, you can put the years to that. So I don't know the year, but yeah, wild time. That was a fun tour, man. They were great. I love them.
Yeah, dude. Another Wasted Night is such like a underrated fucking hardcore record. Like,
oh, you know what's good about them? They were like they were the first hardcore band with like real amps and guitars, like Marshall Stacks. Like they sounded and played good.
Yeah, man.
And you know what I mean? Not to put any other band down, but they were like like they were good.
Yeah,
like they had real amps.
yeah. But like, Another Wasted Night, such a fucking great record, and it's such a good party record too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking.
Well, there's alcohol, but I mean that song, Another Wasted Night. That song is so good, man.
Yeah. 19th Hole, anything on that. It's fucking. Yeah. You can put that's one of the rare records you could just put on and not have to skip a song.
No, and everyone, and it's that's a classic. That's a classic. And being up from Boston, it must have been like one of the Bible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it was, and it was weird too, because, like that time frame, Slapshot was getting big, and like, it was like you had Militant Straight Edge and then fucking Gangrene. Like they couldn't fucking stand up, and they were fucking playing like aggro, like alcohol, drug fueled skate rock. You know what I mean? But it was fucking rad.
That's what it was. Skateboard rock. Yeah. Actually, my first, man, I was 16 years old. My first tour, my first show with Solace Decay was in Boston at the Rat Skeller.
Yeah, that was my stomping ground.
With Psycho.
Yeah, I remember Psycho.
Yeah.
They were three-piece. They were three-piece, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Psycho, man, yeah. That's an old Boston band too, right?
Yeah. Those were one of those bands that were like, they were like older dudes when we were kids, but they were probably younger than we are now. You know what I mean? But when you're 15, like someone that's like 25 or 28 seems wicked old. You know what I mean? Like, and but those were like the kind of like older dudes, and they'd put out mad 7-inches. Like I don't know, they were like a powerhouse of just putting out their own records and shit.
Yeah, that the Rat Skiller. I'm sure that's long gone, right?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. It's like the basement of some like fancy fucking hotel now. You know, it's
Right, yeah, because that was on like a main strip. It was like right behind Fenway Park, right?
yeah, yeah. Dude, it was wicked depressing. Like this is a few years ago now. But it must have been when like Rancid or Old Firm or something was playing Boston, and me and Lars and a couple of the guys were drinking. Well, not Lars wasn't drinking, but we were in the bar of that hotel, and we realized like this is the fucking Rat.
The Rat. That's crazy.
But it was like in this like fancy hotel bar, you know what I mean? It was like this is the fucking Rat, you know what I mean? It's fucking sad, you know.
But most of the other times we would go up there, we'd play the Middle East.
Yeah.
Middle East
Dude,
was the spot.
Middle East is the last of the old fucking guard spots, and it's
Yeah,
fucking
that place-
it's fucking up for sale, man. This fucking COVID
No.
shit fucking everything up, man.
Is it really? That was the spot. And, you know, it's crazy because like the next like 10 Boston hardcore shows we played always with the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah,
Everyone.
yeah,
Yeah,
Wrecking
Like,
Crew
that
was a
was the-
staple, dude. They were a staple.
that was the band. Like, we're
yeah,
playing with the Wrecking Crew, man, again. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
That was a good band too, man.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, man. And yeah. But the Rat, man, that was Boston CBGBs basically. You know what I mean? That was
I
our
remember-
CBs.
There was a guy, I don't know if he was the owner or not, whatever.
With
but
the big dread.
No, he never dread, but he had like tracheotomy.
Yeah,
Like is that the guy?
yeah. And his hair, he didn't have dreads. He had dread. His hair
Like
turned
one
into
dread?
to one massive dreadlock, dude. It was fucking crazy.
But he had a hole in his throat, and he comes out, he's like, "You guys were great." You know, not to make fun of anyone, but he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Can I bum a cigarette?"
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's like,
Like,
dude,
I
the last
remember
thing
that
you
guy.
need, motherfucker, is a cigarette, dude. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
hey, fucking living his best life back then, right? Fucking
yeah, and that was like, and I was there. I was a Jersey kid. I was like 16.
yeah,
Like I just quit high school.
yeah.
Yeah, I was on tour with Social Decay.
That's
With the
awesome.
Rat Skeller. Yeah.
So what that was actually where my old band played our first show too, and first like non-basement or non like like little hall show, like our first club show was with
Yeah, and that's the same thing. That was my first like
club
because
show.
I was in Social Decay for a while, but we would play like VFW
Or parties,
like
or yeah.
Nights of Kong. You know, it's weird. I thought about this too, man. Like I thought about not too long ago because I was posting some old hardcore flyers, and not to go on a rant, but like for some reason, like these girls in high school would like their parents would go out of town. They get this brilliant idea to have a show at their house.
Yeah.
They'd always have like a nice house, and like they would invite Social Decay to their house. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we would play in these basements, and the ceiling was like 7 foot. We barely could get in there, and the places were packed. And
Yep.
something would happen. All the animals were gone. Like the doors would be left open, the animals are gone.
Yeah.
The camera would be found, and the guys were taking pictures of their wieners with
Of
the
course.
camera.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
know, upper deck in the toilet.
Yep.
Like,
Hey,
all
you know
kinds of
what?
shit.
Someone leaves a camera around here, that shit's still gonna happen, dude. Like, I don't care. I don't care if I'm in my 40s. That shit's still gonna happen. But
but I
dude,
never understood it. Like, there was a string of them. They kept doing it,
yeah.
and disaster would happen. But I got to tell you a funny story, man. So, I mean, this might have been 87, 80, 86, and we were in Social Decay, and we're playing one of these parties. Tom's River, Jersey Shore, playing the show, Social Decay, and there was like a little like it was packed in, and there was like bunch of bald head dudes, skinhead dudes,
Yeah.
and someone came down to one of the parties and like had their arms around two kids in the front, and he lifts his head up, and it's Vinny Stigma. Like Vinny Stigma's in a fucking this kid's basement at a part, and like we're all looking like, what the hell is going on? So we play, and he lifts his head up, and he's like into it, and then we're talking to him like, oh, good to see him. But no one asked him how he got there, how he even knew about it. Like I said, there's no social media. There might have been a flyer kicking around town, but how we know we get up to New York? So like 2 weeks later, we're playing another one of these things, and he's there again. Like he's at the show. So finally, like, man, like what, and he moved to the shore. for some reason. Like I don't know why, but but he was so in tune with hardcore music and what was going on. Like he found the shows.
Yeah, man.
Like he made his way to the and we thought he was like a fucking, he's a legend now, obviously, but like then he was like, a rock star, you know. And I remember, and he goes, "Man, I want to have one of these at my house. Like I want you guys to play my house." I can't remember the town. It was either Bricktown or Point Pleasant, like one of these. I grew up right outside of New York City, about 50, 60 miles, and along the shore, and he had a house there, and we went to his house. We didn't put it in the basement; it was in his backyard.
That's awesome.
So it was 4th of July, and we're in Vinny Stigma's backyard playing the show.
That's awesome.
And I remember the era because I went to the front driveway to get out of the party and just collect myself a little bit, and he's out in the driveway, and the neighbors were like, didn't know what was going on. Like all the neighbors were out in front, like talking, and he's handing out Liberty and Justice for All records. Like it must have just came out.
Yeah.
And he's handing out the records to the neighbors. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, like, and at the time I was like, I've arrived. Like I didn't think my music career could get any bigger than this at this moment. You know what I mean? I thought it was the fucking coolest thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is. It is one of the coolest stories I heard. You know what I mean? It's just fucking funny.
Yeah, it was wild. And so I'm putting the time in at like 87. I'm not sure. That record must have just came out. And to me, look, I mean, Gnostic Front, my favorite hardcore band.
Yeah, man.
Hands down, not even close. I mean, I love them. I love a lot of bands, but they were, to me, still to this day. Especially those first 3 records, man, they're insane.
Yeah, no.
So
absolutely.
it was. But my point is, like, I was in the hardcore scene for a while, and like I went into metal and doom, whatever. But like that to me is like that's how the love of hardcore for the you're gonna find a show in some dude's basement, and you're in a Gnostic Front, so you're gonna be at the show. Because you live there now. Like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
We were just like, damn, that's fucking awesome.
Those dudes were as real as it gets. And I know, Vinny's come up on the podcast before. I'm going to definitely have him on at some point. But that one I have to absolutely, like, it has to be face to face. I can't do Vinny on the phone. Right. I don't know why, but like that dude, he still lives it, man. And he still fucking loves it. It was not a joke. It wasn't a fad. It was 100% fucking legit,
And I'm not friends. I'm not claiming to be friends with him or nothing like that. Like I've run into him a million times, but he doesn't forget shit.
I was just gonna say, he probably remembers you, right? Like,
listen. So like, enter 15 years later, I'm on tour with Lethal Aggression again. We're touring with Discharge, so it's Discharge and Lethal Aggression at CD.
That's a good tour.
And Vinny's there in a kilt. And I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Social Decay, man. I know you guys. Yeah, I remember you guys." Like, and I'm thinking to myself, "How?" Because I look the same. Like I've looked the same. I'm just grayer and fatter now, but I've had the same.
Yeah,
haircut.
Yeah.
The hair. And I didn't think he'd ever remember, but he did, man. And he also remembered us when we played Eddie's show, when he passed away, and Gnostic Front came down and played his thing, and Social Decay played too, and they're just, man, a legend, man. Yeah, I can't wait for you to have him on. I'm sure he's got the best stories of all time, for sure.
Oh yeah. I there's one that involves like an alley cat, and it wasn't abused or anything, but it's like literally one of the funniest tour stories I ever heard. And when Vinny or Roger's on, I hope it comes up. Like that's all. Like it's like the best fucking story ever. And I'll tell you about it or whatever. But like it's like Roger was telling me the story, and I was almost pissing my pants laughing. Like literally almost pissing my pants. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. But dude, how did you, like, what led you, like, and I know, like, you're like me, you found shit at a young age. Like, what led you into punk rock or hardcore or metal?
Oh, man.
Like, what was that trajectory?
This is funny as shit. So, I play guitar like, and I was a metal kid. You know, when other kids were buying Star Wars shit, like I got Zeppelin 4. So it's like 1978. I got Zeppelin 4 for Christmas and Rush Fly By Night. And I wanted to play music, and then I found Van Halen, and then I found Ozzy, and then Sabbath, Kiss. Like, you know, I was that kid.
Yep.
You know, it was like 75 to 80. And I'm in this band, and I don't know if I was in the 8th grade playing a high school gym that had a bunch of bands, like a talent show, but it wasn't a talent show, it was just a show. Or I was in the 9th grade, either one. But I had a long-haired band. I was like glam rock band. Like we were playing Judas Priest. You got another thing coming. You know, like two chord metal, like dum 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 dum. You know, as best we could. I play this thing. The next band is fucking Social Decay, like the band I would join, like 2 years later. But punk rock to me at that time in like 80 something, whatever. You know, my sister listened to the Butthole Surfers, Adam and the Ants, man. You know, I don't know. I just wasn't my thing. I didn't get it.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking.
Yeah. So that was like what I consider new wave or punk rock. I don't know. It didn't dawn on me there was the Ramones or, you know, all this stuff. And then they played, and it was the same thing as Kiefer on the fucking BSA. Like, it's just like, what am I doing? Like, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Like, they started playing. The gymnasium was sort of getting destroyed. People were throwing shit, cups and beer. There was drunk skinhead kids and kids with mohawks. Someone turned the power off or something. You know, it's just like it was mayhem. And I was like, what am I doing? Like that. Like, where has this been? Like, I needed that. And then I ditched my band. Like, I'm not doing Judas Priest anymore. You know, and, you know. And then I found some kids in high school, and I always was this long-haired kid, you know. And even when I was in hardcore, like, I wanted to look like I was in COC. So I was like, I'm not skinning my head, dude. I listen to COC. Yeah. Like, they got long hair. I got fucking hair, you know? Even though when I started going to shows, it wasn't that easy, but.
Yeah. I know people forget that, like, cause hardcore's so metally now. Like, in those early days, it wasn't all love and fucking peace with hardcore and metal, dude. No. There was some clashing going on, man. I was there. I was there.
And especially when the band started kind of, I hate using the word crossover, like, but they were. So, you know, every great band, you know, got whatever, better amps, a better production, better sound, and they were crossing over, but I loved them just the same. But the records were still great. And so I started being friends with the kids in school that were like punk rockers, man. Like, I would just like, I'd be leaving my Scorpions buddies aside, and I'd be finding these other kids, man. And I met this girl, Sherry, and Sherry was the girlfriend of Eddie Ramos, Papo, and he was in Social Decay. So I befriended, you know, I didn't befriend her for that reason, but we became friends, and then I realized what was happening.
Well, when we were that young, it was like anyone you met that was like in a hardcore punk or whatever, you like made friends with for the most part, because there wasn't a lot of us. Yeah.
But then after I became her friend, I realized Eddie was in Social Decay, and Eddie was also, you know, the girlfriend or the boyfriend of Sherry. And she's like, you want to, you know, I know you listen to this stuff and you go to these like VFW shows. You want to go to a real show? And I was like, yeah. She goes, all right, I'm going to take you to one. And the first hardcore show at City Gardens was The Exploited and Suburban Uprise. And it had to have been like 80. I hate putting dates. It was mid-80s.
Dude,
really early.
That was my second hardcore show, was the Providence show of that tour, because the Exploited didn't come around that much, so I guarantee you, because it was like 86 or something, or maybe 87.
Yeah, it was something in that area.
Yeah, that was me and Ryan's second show. Oh no, third show. Second was Adrenaline OD, dudes from down by you.
Yeah, and which we played with a bunch of times, but. The weird thing is, like, I was going to shows, but they were at, like, roller rinks. Yeah. They were hardcore shows at roller rinks or, you know, backyard barbecue. Like, I was going to shows, but that was, like, the real first I pay. And I got to tell you, man, like, I was like, oh my God. Like, I didn't know this fucking world existed.
Yeah, man.
And it opened up. And then it turns out I heard that they needed a bass player, and I was playing guitar, and I robbed some money from my girlfriend's grandma's dresser drawer, and I bought a bass. Bought a fucking bass. And I got a tryout for Social Decay, and I played, man. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But I was only like, I was only 16 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they took me on the road, man. They just took me to bars, and they would just hide me. That I'd load in, I'd hide in the back of the bar, and I'd play, and then try and get out without getting, and I never got caught.
That's awesome.
So that was awesome, yeah.
I feel like things were a little more lax back then, too, in general. Like, you could get
Probably,
away with a little more.
man,
Like that,
yeah.
Like,
but I also am lucky because, like, after I found that, I had City Gardens, and I had, then I went to just about every hardcore matinee at CB's for, like, the next 5, how many years? Like, I saw them all. I just went up there. And then my friends were in New York hardcore bands, and I'd go see them. And then so CB's would have matinees. You'd see the matinee, and then you'd get in your car and drive 90 miles to Trenton to see the night show at City Gardens. Done that multiple times, and we were way into it, man. We were high and drunk, and we would just go for it, man. We didn't care. We didn't give a shit. And I was basically a runaway, homeless runaway kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I was sleeping in cars and sleeping on couches and mooching as much as I could, man. Yeah, I didn't have a job.
Yeah, you were a kid.
We would just do all this shit, man. And that's where I bought all my records. I bought my records at shows. There was all these record stores right outside of CB's and
Bleecker Bob's.
Yeah, Bleecker Bob's in the cantina and all those around. There was Vintage Vinyl in Jersey had them, and and you just buy the records and go to shows, and if you can afford it, get a T-shirt, whatever, and hang out. Yep. And that's how I got into it. Yeah.
That's fucking rad. Like that's like such like it's weird, man. Like like the parallels, like like of like dudes of our era. You know what I mean? Like it was the same with us, man. We'd go to the Boston show one day and the Providence show the next day because it wasn't like a night show. Like it would be like they would play one matinee and then the matinee the next day, and that's only those cities are 40 minutes apart. You know what I mean? And
right.
And it used to just be so fucking fun, man. And everything, like we would just literally, me and Ryan would split like a fucking gallon of water and a loaf of bread so that we could afford to get in the show and buy a 7-inch and shit. You know what I mean? And that's what we'd eat all fucking day. You know what I mean? Just that crazy.
Well, what I got lucky was that Social Decay was like, even though at the time, man, like Jersey bands weren't as like sought after as New York bands, obviously, but we got to play with every up and coming and great New York hardcore band of the day.
Yeah.
From Agnostic Front, from Marauder to MP to fucking Biohazard, like Raw Deal, Breakdown, all of them.
Yeah.
Think of it all. Murphy's Law, and you get to play with them. You get to get their merch. You get to talk to them, hang out, and you get invited back. Like we even played with Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah,
for Christ's sakes. It's awesome. And they're huge.
Yeah.
But before they were huge, man, they were playing the Fast Lane, man, and we got to play every show.
Yep.
Every show. My first CD show was with the Iceman. Yeah, I remember that.
Nice.
The first time I got to play CDs. Yeah.
Yeah. That must have been fun. What was that like playing your first show? How old were you?
Man, it must have been I was 17.
Yeah.
17. I'm at CDs. I was just off, can't believe it. Like that was another moment, like, I've arrived.
Yeah.
Like, what is there more than this, man,
Yeah. Dude, I remember because it's the same type of thing. Like our first real show, ITI Intent to Injure, was with Slapshot and Uppercut at the Rat, and
Uppercut. We
were 16. I was 16, and that shit was nerve wracking, but awesome. You know what I mean? Like you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
you know, like you're like shit, dude, we're doing this. We're playing fuck. Like, you know,
Yeah,
we're
you
still
gotta-
in school, dude. We had to take we weren't even old enough to drive. We had to take the bus, dude, with our gear and shit. We took the bus to the show, bro. Like carrying a fucking head and a fucking guitar, dude. You know what I mean? Like
Man,
obviously
that
not a drum kit, but like cymbals and
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? We were like,
That is
fuck.
hilarious. That's cool. I never heard that one. Like, so here's the deal about Social Decay. So when I was 16, the guys in my band were 21.
Okay.
Like they were like old. They were like Eddie was. They were all 5 years older than me.
Okay, yeah. So
So
they
they
had
were-
cars and shit or whatever.
They had cars and they had like, you know, I think like Mike Roberts, you know, was a painter. He had a van, you know, so we had stuff. And I was the kid,
Yeah.
like the little kid, you know, they would tote around, you know. Actually, I think we played with Slapshot. Actually, I know we did. We played with Slapshot in Newark. I cannot remember the name of the club though, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hey, Social Decay opened up for Gigi Allen for Christ's sake.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like
All of them.
yeah.
Yeah, this is how I put my music career, dude. I played with Gigi Allen, and 2 years later, I played with Black Sabbath. Like
Yeah.
that's the stretch of my. You know,
And it's not like it was like decades later. It was 2 years later. Yeah.
it was literally 2 years later, man. I played with Gigi Allen, and now I'm on stage with Black Sabbath. in
That's
Europe,
fucking
man. Like,
awesome.
that's like, yeah, that's like, how do you invent that music career?
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
who
crazy.
did you tour with Sabbath with? Solace?
No, it's Godspeed.
Oh, it was
So
Godspeed, okay.
right after Social Decay, me and Tommy started a band. So what happened with Social Decay was like we started putting a little bit more Sabbath into the riff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it kind of fell out of hardcore, but it was still the problem with Social Decay was, and this is what got us. We broke up and we got dropped from our label. You know, we were playing Black Sabbath riffs, but we were a touring band like Black Flag.
Yep.
So like you would have, and this is early days of like, you know, I don't know, it's called Stoner Doom. I don't know, whatever it is. Early days, early 90s. And dudes were in like, you know, not even putting anyone down. You know, they were kind of droopy, you know, like beards and long hair and bell bottom pants and, you know, wore the button down shirts with the big sleeves.
Yeah.
You know, and then we show up in our fucking Black Flag shirts and fucking shorts and you know, and we're playing that music, but we're like we attack the stage and we would attack the tour like we were like in a hardcore band.
Yeah.
And everyone hated us. You know, everyone hated us. Like, cause they were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like they're playing Sabbath's riffs, but they're fucking like destroying the stage.
Yeah.
Like no one, like
They just weren't
we
ready
didn't know how
for it
to-
yet. They weren't ready for it yet.
Well, I don't even think it's a thing. Like we weren't ready for it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the joke was we would play clubs that were like, you couldn't even turn around without hitting someone in the band to a stage that I couldn't even see. My guitar player was so big. Like we went on, like, you know what I mean? We would play a club where like there was not even a big enough stage for the whole band to be on the stage.
Sure, yeah.
And then a year later, we're on the stage where I couldn't even see across it.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't know, no one knew how to act. Like, so we would get so drunk and just, we would throw bottles at each other from across the stage. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And like, I remember the first time I played with Black Sabbath, it was in Manchester, England, and I was in a big arena stage and I couldn't move. Like I put myself in a box and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to go. Where can I go? How long is my cable?
Yeah.
Like, I can't see anyone. Like, I actually have to know what I'm doing. I can't watch anyone play. It was bizarre.
How did you guys get hooked up with that Sabbath tour?
So we were so it's crazy. So like we started that right after Social Decay, and Eddie went down to bike school, and we would just start playing these clubs in Jersey and New York, and like CMJ and all these things. And we played this one, and we got kind of popular, man. Like all our shows would pack the room. You know, it was like an event. So we would play. It would be an event.
Nice.
And there was a guy from A&R guy. This is the craziness of my music career. Like, there was a guy from Atlantic Records at the club because he was on vacation and he had a hotel down the street, and he heard there was a show there. So he gets drunk. So he comes to the parking lot. We're in the van drinking. He's like, "Oh, what's going on? I'm from New York, and blah blah blah, and I'm here out of town. I'm on vacation. I heard, like, yeah, we're playing, man. Like, we'll get you on the guest list." And the guy on the guest list got him wasted drunk. Turns out he was an A&R guy from Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
So we play. The show goes off like it always does. And he comes back. He's like, "I'm signing you guys. I'm signing this band." Like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm sure. Like, all right, we'll talk to you later, bud.
Yeah.
See you later. Like, a month later, he's there. He comes back to our show with, like, another guy from Atlantic Records. And then he goes, "I'm signing you guys." So next thing you know, like, we're just like a bar band, almost like one year removed from being a hardcore band. And we're up in, like, Rockefeller Plaza in Atlantic Records studio.
Nice.
Like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here? And I remember the only thing we wanted to do was pick the record. So we would find the record wall, and they had signed the Melvins and Helmet. It was like that era,
Yeah, yeah.
So we're like, "Oh man, there's the new Helmet, there's the new Melvins, here's the Unsane." Like, we're picking all these records, from the thing. That's all we really cared about. And then next thing you know, we're signed, we're in the studio, and we're on tour. Yeah, we're on tour with Black Sabbath.
Fuck yeah, man. It's crazy how like shit can just fucking pop like that and just go fast, like faster than you would ever expect.
Too fast. It was too fast. And literally what happened was, like, it crashed and burned. We were too out of control to, like, even like, if I know we're on a podcast, I don't care if you name dropping, but Tony Iommi, the guitar player from Black Sabbath, put out a book. It's called Iron Man. In the book, Iron Man, in the back section of the book, there's a paragraph about us. Like, this guy's whole illustrious music career, from fucking Earth all the way through to Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
So whenever that book came out, he remembered us destroying the stages and the tour buses and backstages and put it in his fucking book.
That's awesome, man. That's a badge of honor right there.
Tell me about it. Like, come on. Like, what? It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
So from there, Solace was right after that, or was there other stuff in between that?
No, Solace was right after that. Yeah, so after Gods, like, we did a lot of stuff, man. Like, we recorded with Bruce Dickinson, like, all this weird shit. But actually, our manager was Gloria Butler, Geezer Butler's wife.
Yeah.
So I would get drunk. I'd go to, like, in Tom's River when me and Keith lived. I didn't have a job at the time because I was in a band that was, like, signed to a major label.
Yeah, touring with
so
Sabbath.
I'd go to the bar every night, and I'd be like, "Come home to my house. I'm going to call Geezer Butler on the phone," because I had his fucking home phone number.
Yeah.
And I would get drunk in the bar, and I'd go home, and I would
antagonize him.
Geezer Butler's fucking house, and Gloria do it. Yeah.
You still got his number? We should try that. We should patch him in right now, dude.
But
no, Geezer. I thought you said Tommy.
Geezer.
Yeah.
No, Geezer Butler. But the funny thing is, he lived in St. Louis. I'm not quite sure why, but he lived in St. Louis at the time, man. Yeah. So
wow. Yeah, that's an odd place to.
Yeah, we were like on like, we had like, nothing's a big deal, but we had a video on that Beavis and Butthead. Like, it was a whole whirlwind of shit that happened at the time. And then that's when I started writing, because the band was dropped. Yeah. Because we fucked everything up, and I was just sitting depressed, drunk at a party, and that's when Keith, I met up with Keith again after a couple of years, and boom.
Oh,
but then
you know what I meant to tell you about that? This is talking about small world shit. When he was traveling the country with Mary in their bus, and they lived in Tucson for a little while.
Right.
I lived in Tucson with Brent. You know Brent, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, and I ran into Keith. Like, I met Keith in Tucson at a fucking street show. Some rockabilly band was playing, like Trio was playing on the street. And Keith came up to me because I probably had a hardcore shirt on or something. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm from Jersey. You know this is like a hardcore show or something?" And we remembered that years later when we were hanging out somewhere. And I was like,
"That's cool."
He was like, "Dude, I was in Tucson. I met a hardcore kid." And I was like, "Dude, And then we talked about it. We're like, there was a band playing a bass. It was like the first time I saw a rockabilly band like playing with an upright bass and shit. This is mid '90s, whatever. Like, you know, because I didn't come from that scene. And we talked about it, and like it was like us. We had met back then, dude. It was fucking crazy, right? So it's
crazy.
Weird how like small, like even how big the world is, how small and interconnected our little fucking things are. You know.
That is cool, man. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
Really? So you know Brett a long time, huh?
Yeah. Like when I moved out to Arizona in like '94, and like he's one of the first people I met, and like that was like my main dude that I hung out with, and then we moved to Flagstaff, and I didn't live with Brent when we lived in Tucson. He was still married, right. But then we moved. Then me and Brent moved to Flagstaff. He lived with me in Flagstaff, and then
I didn't even know you lived in Arizona. That's cool.
Yeah. Mid '90s for like '94 to 95 to 98,
right.
Something like that. You know, that time frame I lived out there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't mean to derail that, but it was just a funny aside. That was
a great story. That's the first time I heard that too. That's cool.
Yeah. But so
yeah, he's been everywhere.
Yeah. But I remember being like, who the fuck is this hippie dude? And then it was like, it was fucking Keith. That's why it's fucking funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a hippie.
Who's this fucking hippie dude trying to talk to me about hardcore? You know what I mean? And it was just like, oh, but whatever. But you know.
Well, you know what's good about him? He was the same dude. Because I was that like, I was a year or two older than him. Yeah. So like, when I became 18, he was 16, right? So. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we were always like right behind, man. But man, he's a wild kid, man. He's still the same dude he was then, man. Holy shit! I've known him a long time, man. Yeah.
But you guys, you know, with Solace, man, you guys were around for a while, and you guys did some things, man. Like, do you guys ever? Like, you guys still play at all, or you think about doing some shit here and there or whatever?
Well, Solace is still a band.
Yeah.
And so right after Godspeed, Solace came about. Me and Tommy just decided to start a band with no record labels, no drama, just you know, and we just did our own thing. It just it was like this is going to be our band pretty much forever, and we did it. And so Solace is still a band. And Solace did a lot of cool shit, man. We toured with, you know, we played with Motorhead, and we played with a lot of bands, man. And it's still a band, but I'm just not in it. Really.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I didn't know if because I haven't seen anything in a while, but you know,
Well, the weird thing is, like, so they just put out a record last year, and you know, it got 5 Ks in Kerrang. Like, it was like acclaimed, man. It was really good. And I did play on it, but I didn't play all the songs on it.
Yeah.
But I played on it, and they're doing good, man. Yeah, you know, they're on a small label, and they're still recording. And you know, Tommy's, you know, I've been through everything in life with him, and he's, you know, like family to me. Like when I quit school, and you know, I basically left home. You know, I lived on his couch. You know, I lived on his mom's couch, and I remember, like, this is how long I've known him. We would play a show with Social Decay at night on a Wednesday night, and we'd go home, and I'd be on the couch, and I remember I would go up to his room. He lived up in this attic in this really old house, and I'd have to wake him up. They're like, Tommy, man. Tommy. He'd be like, what, man? Why are you waking me up? I'm late for school. Like, someone's got to get me to fucking school. You know, and he'd be like, oh, man, quit. You know, he'd be like, you know, cut today. I can't go drive. I'm not driving to school. But he would drive me to fucking school, man.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And then I just, you know, I just faded out. I just stopped going.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, hey, you know, sometimes it goes. You fucking follow your shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can always catch back up with school later if you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Listen, let's give some crazy advice right now, right? Like, no.
Yeah, I thought about it, but yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
No,
luckily, I got into trades, man. You know, I've been in the trades since I was, you know, I got a job, like cleaning work trucks, you know. Yeah, and I just stuck with that trade, man. You know, and I've been pretty successful at it. So I'm truly blessed for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you got 3 knuckleheads, so fuck.
Yeah, you know, I don't have
and
much
no student debt and no student loans. You know what I mean?
No, I got no debt. I got no home. You know, I don't own a home. I don't own a car, but I got 3 knuckleheads and a job.
Fuck yeah, man.
and a guitar, and I got a record collection.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You got all the important shit. All the important shit.
Yeah, I got those are the essentials, man.
Yeah. Well, fuck, dude. You know, I mean, there's ups and downs to renting versus owning anyway. You know what I mean? A house, you know.
Well, I never considered myself stuck in one place, man.
Yeah.
So it was hard to, you know, and I was just like, I'm not buying a house.
Well, you've been in Chicago a little while now, man.
Yeah, it's been 15 years.
Yeah, fuck. I can't even believe it's been that long. I was telling someone today, I won't be talking to Rob. I was like, man, I was talking about Joe. I was like, yeah, he must have been in Chicago about 9 years now. Like he's fucking 15, dude. That's how old we're getting, dude. Like that's like 9 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh shit. It's fucking 15. Fuck.
You know, it's weird that the reason why I moved to Chicago was because I was burnt out in Jersey, man. Like literally, I just packed my shit and disappeared from there. You know, it was one of these things where I thought a geographical change would like fix all my problems. You know what I mean? Yeah. But as it turned out, you know, I had to take Rob with me to Chicago.
Yeah. So all your problems followed you.
All my bullshit came with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, things are good here, man. Like one good advantage was, you know, the motorcycles, man, is the thing. It's just you know, huge here, man. Just the Midwest and being outside of Milwaukee and Detroit and Chicago area, you know, it's awesome. And the crew I got here is, you know, they're great. They took me right in, and yeah, it's been fantastic. Bravetown's been you know, there was times we would say like, I wonder, you know, other than you guys, like, who else is doing this shit on a Friday? There's like 20 guys in one garage working on their choppers at the same time, you know, getting fucked up, you know.
Yeah, it's
like
fucking rad.
Perfect thing. Yeah, the perfect thing, man. Yeah.
So fucking, how did you get hooked up with Trouble? Because they're like a fucking, you know, like a fucking mainstay in in that genre, you know.
This is another crazy story, man. So I became friends with a dude, and he just passed away this year, but his name was Chris Hansford. We call him Cool Breeze. And he's like, man, I'm in and I don't even know, I'm not even like a jock, but he's like, I'm in a heavy metal, you know, I'm in like a heavy metal softball league, like team. And, you know, and I was like, yeah, I'll play softball, man. It was like a beer league, you know, bad, you know. And I go to the thing, and there's one of the guys from Trouble is on the fucking team. Right? So nothing came of it. Trouble was a huge band. They had their whole band or whatever. And so Exit, I only played 1 year, but I met everyone. Then fast forward, like, I've been in Trouble, man, going on, you know, maybe 9 years now.
Yeah.
And they were looking for a bass player, and Chris was talking to Rick, the guitar player. He's like, dude, why don't you ask Rob? And he's like, Rob from the softball league? he's like, yeah. And he goes, oh, that's right. He played in Solace. Like he knew I was, but he didn't, you know, he wasn't, you know, he didn't know who I was, but he knew who he was. And he fucking he got his number he texted me. He's like, we're auditioning bass players. You know, your name came up, and here's a bunch of songs you need to learn. And I was like, I was just sitting around. I was like, yeah. And then I didn't hear back for a whole year.
Wow.
I was like, shit, man, I didn't get it, man. I didn't get the gig, or I got someone else. I didn't hear nothing. A year later, it was the day after. It was like literally 2 or 3 days after getting back from Born Free 5, where the knucklehead that I did with the leg, you know, won Best Knucklehead. Yeah. And I'm sitting in the parking lot of like a 7-Eleven getting a, you know, whatever. And I get another text from Rick. He's like, oh man, sorry, we didn't get back to you for the whole year, but we decided we were going to record an album, and we were going to do it ourselves and not bring a guy in, but we're ready for you. And I went, it was crazy. So I just was back from Born Free. Now that he's calling. And I went and auditioned, and you know what? Like, I've been playing bass guitar literally at that point for 20 some years, but I never was so like nervous in my life, because you probably never
auditioned for anything, probably, right?
Yeah, but every band I played in, like, I either was writing the music or there when it was written. I knew the song, learning other people's. I was never in a cover band, so I had to learn the songs. But no one ever cared if I was playing it wrong, or we would be so drunk on stage, no one cared what anyone was playing, as long as like the crowd was going crazy.
Yeah.
And I got these two dudes who are like literally like metal guitar heroes, like
Yeah.
in their genre, staring like. So I would play the song, and they'd be like, "Oh, that sounded good. Play it without the band. Like play the riff without the band." And there was no music, and I just had to play the riff.
Yeah, yeah.
While they're watching, and I'm like, "This is fucking crazy. Huh? these are like, what am I doing here? Like these are professional musicians.
Yeah, yeah.
That every note matters. I never felt like that before until then. But I pulled it off, man. They're like, "Yeah, you're hired, man." And I was like, "Dude, this is surreal. Like, how am I in this band?"
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been great. They're the best they're the best band. The best guys, man. Yeah, their stories are equally as epic, man. They've been around. They were a band since 1979.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, man. And I bought their records, and I saw them at CBG. I mean, at City Garden. They opened up for, I think it was Sabotage.
Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing, man. And we got a lot going on, too. So there's things in the fire this year that are great. And, I look at it like this. Like, I get paid to play trouble music, man. And, like, I never thought that I'd ever be in that position.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's awesome. Yeah, it's really awesome.
Well, fuck yeah.
And
Man.
on a side note, we're putting out a record this year, and it's written, and I'm actually going to have some credit, some
Nice.
songwriting credit on it, which is cool. So I'm going to have a trouble album, and I'll get to look at the liners and see Hultz on there.
Yeah.
On one of the So
that's cool, man, because they brought you in the fold as as a hired bass player, but now does it feel like you're more part of the band because you're actually you're contributing musically?
What's so cool about it is I never felt like they were like, you're a member of the band. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, so this isn't like we want you here for a long time. And I told them, you want me here for a long time? You fucking kidding me? I'm going to be the last trouble bass player you ever have. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm never leaving. Like, even if you fire me, I'm showing up.
I'm going to show up.
And so, yeah. So, and I realized that when Bruce Franklin, the guitar player, and was writing some songs and for the album, and he's like, "Hey man, come up to where I live, man, and I got a little studio space, and let's put some of these songs." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I thought you guys were just gonna write this record and then give it to me and I'd play it." But he's like, "No, come up and do some writing with me, man." And I was like, "Damn, fuck yeah!"
That's
and it was cool.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, and they become family as well, man. They're the best guys, and they're the best band.
Fuck yeah!
I know we spent a lot of time on hardcore, but I spent most of my career in the stoner doom.
Yeah,
metal
sure. Yeah, of course.
scene, and they're the agnostic front of doom, man.
Yeah,
like they're like the legends. So,
and so what? Is there a release date, or is it you're still working on it?
Well, no, we're working on it because we just signed to our label, and it's Hammerheart Records, and so they're putting our new record out, and they re-released all the old ones.
Okay.
From Psalm 9 up, and maybe a couple not or not, but so we did the deal last year. We demoed the record, it's all done, and then like everyone's kind of spread out with the COVID.
Yeah.
Like we had studio. We had tour, like we're like, and as many bands as I've toured with and played with over the years, like there's some I haven't, and we were gonna fucking play shows with Merciful Fate reunion this year,
yeah,
and all this shit, and I was just like, man, my life can't get any better, man. Like I never made a dime in this music, but I get to do all this cool shit, and then boom,
yeah,
everything
comes to a fucking screeching halt.
Yeah, so there's no release date yet. I would put it at. I can't. Like we just can't. But I mean, I would say the fall.
Yeah.
The fall.
Yeah.
But it's the record. We just have to record it.
Yeah.
It's all that. Like they're the band that writes the songs, demos them, puts the lyrics to them. Like there was some points in some of the demos I was like, man, this could be on the fucking record. Like, why we have to do this again? But we're gonna go re-record it. But you know what I mean? Like, so that's what they do. So they get when we record, it should go like that, man. Like every part's done, everything's done.
Yeah, because you guys have you worked it all out and have it all.
Yeah.
Not
only did we work it out, we recorded it.
Yeah. So and then there's something to be said about that. Plus, you get to sit with it for like a year or so, and then do the final recording. There might be shit that we
changed or whatever.
Been thinking about that.
Our singers in the band explored it too, so they're trying to get a record out too. There's a lot of things happening, man. So that's happening, and should be a big year for us if we can do it. If not, 2022, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too is like you want to get this fucking shit going, man. It's fucking, I don't know. It's we all do.
50 this year. I'll be 50 this year. It's not getting any easier, man.
Yeah, no. And dude, think about these dudes. They've been a band since '79. So like, I don't know how old they are, but they got to be getting up there. You know what I mean? So it's like,
they're older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're trying to fucking get the fuck out and get shit going. Fucking damn.
Oh, they are too. Yeah. So hopefully, man. Yeah, it's crazy times, man. Crazy times.
This is fucking crazy. I you know how we said, we don't, when after this podcast, after we shut off, I will tell you who this was that's beeping in on my phone. It's fucking bananas. It's an upcoming guest, and it's like it's really bizarre to be getting a phone call from this person right now. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's no one from the punk rock, hardcore, or motorcycle scene. Well, kind of motorcycle scene, but someone you probably would have watched on TV in the 90s. Yeah,
watched on TV in the 90s. All right.
All right. So anyway, but yeah. That's the first time I think I've ever had anyone try and beep in when, this is why doing them in person is so much fucking better. We need this COVID shit to stop so we can fucking hang out, dude.
But just like you said, we're going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. It's just, it's cool to be able to just even do this, man. And in a way, it's like COVID's been a blessing for like, this type of shit with podcasts is people are just around more. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You can shoot the shit with people. People have a little bit more time and stuff. So it's been good in that regards. And like here at the shop, we didn't stop a single day because we fell under essential services, automotive repair. Like it didn't say cars only.
That's right.
So,
the weird thing is too, so did I, because I work in the oil refinery business.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I never missed a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Never missed one day.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, like, I had to be careful, man. And I might be a little left leaning on this, but if someone was to come down with it, they would shut like parts of the plant down, and we were very careful to keep everyone working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So literally, like, there was some things, man, like I would have loved, like I know a bunch of you guys met up and text, but I couldn't do it. Like if I was to come back and I got someone else, and then like literally people would lose, they would shut $1 million jobs down.
Yeah.
So we've been kind of being on the honor system, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'm blessed to have that job, man, to be honest.
I know. And I would never want you to position to fuck that up, but what I will say is you missed a fucking time. I'm sure Brad told you. I'm sure Brad told you about the fucking house, dude. What a fucking ridiculous situation that was, dude. Like, oh man.
I talked to Brad on his way down, while he was there, on his way back. All his breakdowns, his bike fucking up, everyone's shenanigans.
Yeah. Dude, he's a fucking maniac, man. He was like, yeah, I'm leaving Chicago now on the bike, and I'm going to try and, make it down there. And I'm like, got to be cold in Chicago already, you know what I mean?
It is, man.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, that's what we do up here, man.
I know.
We ride everywhere, man.
I know.
Yeah, he is a good dude. I would love to have seen Lenny, too, man. Lenny's a fucking, I reach out to him as much as I can.
Yeah.
Love him, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was just a good time because we did it different. Instead of getting hotels, we just pulled in and got the
Yeah, you had
hugest,
one house.
the hugest little like mansion type house with a pool and fucking craziness. It had a guest house, like fucking. It was just bananas, dude. You know what I mean? Fucking,
I'm sure, man.
come down at 4 a.m. and fucking Lenny Mentals fucking and Pat are watching dumb shit on TV and we're just fucking talking shit. Fucking, you know, like there was just something going on all the time, you know?
Yeah, like so I was on a live feed with Brad the whole time, man. It was like,
you getting play-by-play updates.
Yeah, getting all the updates, yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it too, because we got back and the first thing I did, because you know, the tattoo shop got shut down for a few months and the bike shop, like, you know, you're not up on people. Like we're all kind of spaced apart and shit. And like, and even if a customer comes in, I'm not like I'm never in anyone's fucking personal space anyway, because I'm very guarded about my own fucking personal space. But, you know, at the tattoo shop, when I'm lasering people, I got to be kind of close. So, you know, we went and literally in Packers a bobber and, you know, all that. So we all went and got tested and got that like rapid result, like where you get the test results back within like an hour. And you know, we did all that shit just to do the right thing by people. You know?
Well, it's crazy, man, because like I'm 50 and I got the fucking asthma inhaler. You know, every time I start sneezing, I'd go get a fucking COVID test. So,
well, you know, like you said, like that's gonna be a fucking stress on your head. Be like, man, if I got COVID, I could be shutting down $1 million fucking site. Like, you don't want to be that guy, man. You know, and have
you don't want to be that guy.
Everyone pissed at you because they can't work and shit. You know, and the company pissed at you.
The sad part is that, you know, like even my homies here, like they get together, like Brad, he gets together with the Bravetown guys. Like, you know, I kind of I come say hi. Like Jeff Wright was in town.
Yeah.
Like literally 2 weeks ago, he stopped at the shop to hang out and say hi. And, you know, I stuck around and I was like, Jeff, what's up, man? Miss you, man. Blah, blah, blah. I got to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I can't hang out, man. But it's tough. It's been hard on me, man. It's really starting to get,
Yeah, man. I get it. It's wearing on everybody, dude. And it seems like I mean, and this is, you know, whatever. Like, it just seems like it's so mismanaged and so haphazard the way they're dealing with it. Like here, the governor of Massachusetts is like, yeah, well, Thanksgiving, you should only really be eating Thanksgiving dinner with family that you live with. And okay, you know, and they want to regulate that. They want you to only be around people for Thanksgiving dinner, like something that like is like, you know, not for every family, but for a lot of people, is something that bonds people and brings people together. But there's no regulation on Black Friday sales. So, you know, so it's like, well, you know, you should really only eat dinner with the, you know, the 3 people you live with, and you shouldn't get together with other family. But you can go climb over 1,000 fucking slobs the next day to try and save $50 on a TV and wait in line with 500 people. You know what I mean? So that's how dumb this shit is being handled. And it's like, you know, what the fuck do you think is going to do more damage? Having like your cousin over, or going into fucking Walmart and fighting your way through a crowd of 1,000 people to fucking get a fucking, you know, whatever bauble you fucking need to get. You know what I mean?
Nah, yeah.
Well, you don't need to get. You really, you're not going there for shit you need on Black Friday. You're going there for just bullshit that you're fucking consuming. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know what's crazy is like I weirdly, man, the only way I got through any of this is, man, it's just to put 2 fucking blinders on each side and just like try and filter out everything, man. Like. And you just tell yourself, man, I'm not in control.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in control of what's going on, man. Just get through to the end.
Yeah. No,
you know, there's, And so, man, just like go to work on your bikes, write music, come home with your family, repeat, man, you know?
And hey, honest, dude, and honestly, that's not the worst cycle, you know, go to work, fucking work on bikes, play some music, and fucking hang out with your family. It's a pretty good cycle, dude, you know?
Yeah, but, otherwise it's like I'm doing the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
You know? But, but things like this, man, like when you asked me to do this, I was like, man, I get, you know, I was stoked anyway, but it's just like, it's a break from the norm.
Yeah, no,
like absolutely. Doing this podcast was like getting me into a different time space, a better time, man. You know.
Yeah. Plus, it's like hanging out virtually, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, or over the phone. Right. It's like hanging out. You know, so it's the best we can do right now, man.
It is, man, unfortunately. But you know what, man? It's funny. Like we talked about, I've been in Chicago 15 years. If it goes a whole year, we'll forget about it, man. Hopefully, it'll be just a year in time, man.
Yeah, no, I
Year
hear
in
you.
time.
Yeah, let's.
It's not. Yeah, I think about the time that dudes like us lived through, like teenagers lived through the Vietnam War or something, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was like that was insanity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We our time. Well, we had. I mean, I wasn't in the military.
We had the Gulf War.
We had the Gulf War and Desert Storm and all that shit. But yeah, it's just crazy, man.
But just like the unrest, the
yeah.
the social unrest, the rioting, you know what I mean? It was like they say that right now it's crazy. Like that must have been. I didn't live through it. I was born in 71, but I mean that must have been insane, man.
Oh yeah.
Like a time, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. It's something, yeah.
And that was like 5 years to 10 years. We can get through a year and a half, man, a year.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And it's just like, I think people just gotta not fall in the trap and get so isolated where they're, they get in a bad headspace and shit like that.
That's the worst thing. You're 100% right, man. 100% right.
Get that way, just fucking reach out to motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But dude, how can we're almost coming up on 2 hours here. Let's fucking I
can't believe it's been out. Is that the normal podcast length?
No, dude. Yeah, I mean, for a phone one, this is long. Usually if it's in person, they usually go from like any 2 to 3 hours. But like on the phone, they usually go like an hour or so. I think. I don't know. I don't keep track of all that shit. But it don't feel like anything. I just looked down and I was like, I can't believe it's already been this fucking long. Because catching up with old homies.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just talking to an old friend, man. It felt like 20 minutes.
No, absolutely. But how can people find out more about what you got going on musically and stuff? Like, what give some of the social media links and shit out?
Yeah. So for the music, man, there's no Instagram page, but you can go to Trouble Metal Facebook. That's where all the and you can go to my Instagram. It's Bobby GT on Instagram, and I post all. And if you're interested in anything I do motorcycle wise or whatever, that's where I'm at. Yeah. I'm not on the Facebook, but
go there and drool over his bikes, man.
Thanks, man. I coming from you, I mean, Chopperhead for me was it, man. I still have my original Chopperhead shirt where it's not it's Keep It Chopped. I still got my Keep It Chopped shirt, man. The OG shirt, man.
I know. It's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. It's I don't even think I have one of those anymore,
Yeah, I got it. I cut the sleeves off, but I got it. And then it turned into antisocial, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the best in the biz, man.
I appreciate it, brother. So check out fucking Rob's fucking array of bikes. There's not one stinker in the bunch, and fucking check out some music, man, because and support these bands. You guys got merch and shit online?
Oh yeah, we got a whole new merch run, man. It's all up on the site. Oh, if you want to check out any of my old bands, man, so Godspeed, there's no sites for that, but Solace has a Instagram page. I think it's Solace, New Jersey, and there's a Facebook page, and that was one of my long running bands. And you could pick up Lethal Aggression and Social Decay merch. Lethal Aggression's last label was on Relapse, so you can probably catch their shit there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, Relapse is so fucking huge. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what got us on those crazy Gangrene and Discharge tours. Was the Relapse release. Yeah.
Yeah, but think about Relapse then and think about Relapse now. You know what I mean? Like, who knew?
Well, they had a store in Philly, man. That was the Relapse. It was like a record store at one time.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy shit.
Yeah, it's big now, yeah.
And but yeah, and it fucking I'll put all that shit in I'll look it up too. Like, and if you want to text me anything, I'll make sure I put all that in the liner notes tonight. I'm going to get this episode up tomorrow, man. Fucking, I'm a day behind, but like, let's get this fucking shit rolling, dude. Fucking.
Oh, rad, dude. Thanks. I hope I wasn't too long-winded, man. Everyone's be like, what the hell is this shit this fucking dude talking about?
No, not at all, bro. That's why I was like, when I looked down, I was like, man, I can't even believe it's already been this long. But, you know, I got to leave some shit for when we're doing the face-to-face, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got some stuff. We got way more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But
especially when we're laughing, we're looking at each other laughing. We'll think of more shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, especially the big Keith.
Yeah. We'll do the round table with Keith, and it'll fucking, and then everyone will hate us at the end of that one, and we won't give a shit.
Your subscriptions fucking drop off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lose ton of listeners or whatever. Those would only be the fair weather friends anyway. You know what I mean? But fuck yeah, man.
Hey, look, this isn't for the faint of heart, man. This is the real deal.
None of this shit is, man. I can't believe we've come through this long, dude, with all this dumb shit we've been in.
Well, I was gonna say is all the dumb shit we did. I mean, we lost friends along the way, but not because of the shit we did.
No.
You know. Everyone got out alive.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Good talking to you, and let's fucking get up soon, man.
Man, I can't wait, dude. And thank you, man. Love you, man.
I love you, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right.